Welcome to the Wise podcast, hosted by me, Kate Conway, and kindly sponsored by ID Verde. They are the UK and Europe's leading provider of grounds maintenance services and landscape creation projects. They actively engage with social enterprises to build them into their supply chain. I'm delighted today to be joined by Chara Clarke from Glow NI. Chara, I'm just so taken by everything you've brought today. Chara, you are the founder of Glow NI, and you've brought some of the merchandise here. You have sweatshirts and t-shirts and the hats and the books and stuff. But start by telling us what Glow is.
Okay, so Glow is a charity, and we work with women and young girls delivering personal development and mental health and wellbeing programs. And then we also have got our social enterprise, which is the merchandise and selling our programs out in the other organisations. So we're based in West Belfast, and we mainly work with women and girls within North and West Belfast, although we are planning to expand out, in the other areas across Northern Ireland.
So you run the programs and then sell it, the social enterprise side of Glow is what helps fund that so that you can offer those programs for free?
Well, yes, obviously because where we're based, socially deprived areas, we want to be able to offer the programs for free, and that's, as a charity what we do. We heavily rely on funding applications, and sometimes you're just like, what's the point? You can apply for 10 funding applications and get 9 rejections and get 1 application out of that, or get rejected for all 10 of them, and it's heartbreaking sometimes, so I had wanted to do something that was fun, engaging. We could use the women who come through our programs as well to be involved with the social enterprise, so something that was going to generate money for the charity so that we can continue to support more women and girls.
I can tell from the way you're saying that you're like frustrated by the length of time and the uncertainty of a funding application, because you put it in and you have to wait maybe months and then find out when you could already have had the job done if you just had the money. So at least this gives you the control to be able to. But as you say, then that offers something to the women and girls who do the programme as well. Tell us about the kind of programmes.
So I trained as a life coach back in 2015, and I use these the life coaching tools and techniques then to put together the programmes. So the programmes are all about life coaching. It's all about helping you to build your confidence, build your self-esteem, overcome your stinking thinking, set positive goals. So I believe that life coaching, is for everybody. It's always about helping you to move forward. What's your next step? Whenever the women come into us and the girls come into us, we always say, look, we are not counsellors. We're not here to tell you what to do. We believe that every woman has got the answers inside herself, but she just needs a wee bit of prompting, just to help her to pull out those answers to her life's problems. So we take them through sessions like, what is confidence? What is self-esteem? How can you build your confidence and your self-esteem? How can you overcome your stinking thinking? What goals in life do you want to set, and help them to set realistic goals by the end of the programme? So it's very interactive. It's not about us sitting there telling them what to do. It's about discussions, and it's about them building relationships with other people as well.
Now, you've used the term stinking thinking, which has made me laugh a bit. I think what you've done is taken, because obviously, there's any number of books or any number of podcasts or YouTube videos that these women and girls could watch themselves without going to you, but you've made it more accessible. You've made it more like, this is actually for you.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the women that we work with as well, they maybe don't say that they've got those options, to be able to change their life, to change their circumstances. They might be stuck in a rut. And that's why I set the organisation up back in 2011. I was working in City Life Centre, where we are based, right at the Peace Gates of the Shanklin Falls. So I was working in the centre with parents from both sides of the community, bringing them together. We were doing fun nights like fashion shows, pamper nights, and just fun activities. And it was just through conversation with these women that I heard them talking negatively about themselves, and like, I'll take the kids to school in my pajamas, I come home, I watch Jeremy Kyle, and it was like, that was their life, and they didn't see any other option, and they were just talking so negatively about themselves. And I just thought, well, I can't sit and moan about that. It broke my heart to hear women talk like that, and I thought, well, I can't just sit and moan about that. I have to do something about it. And then I set up Glow, didn't know what I was doing, was winging it. I think sometimes I still am winging it now, and it has just snowballed from there, really. So it was born out of a need within the community that I had saw, and it has just grown from there because there's a need for it.
Well, fair play to you, because you're saying, I just had to do something about it. You didn't really.
Well,
Do you know what I mean? You could
Yeah.
be doing any number of jobs. You could be doing, just from talking to you. I know you could achieve, whatever you wanted to do, but you've chosen to go in this direction. What?
Yeah. Well, I was brought up, my parents are both very heavily involved working within the community. My dad's a pastor and he's very much involved with working in the community, both sides of the community. They were brought up obviously during the Troubles, so they were wanting to help people and bring people together, from the Catholic and Protestant communities. So I was brought up within that type of family where it was all about helping people within the community. And my dad set up a charity back in 1989 and it was bringing young people together, at that time to get them away from paramilitaries and drugs and stuff like that. So I grew up that, and I remember when I was about 12 years old, standing in my daddy's office on the stadium right in the Shankill Road going, when I grow up, I want to do something like this. Never in a million years thinking, that I would have set up a charity. I probably thought about it and then it went out of my head. And then, all these years later, I have done it, So, yeah, it was instilled in me from a young age.
So tell me about the women and girls that you work with. What's the age range?
So we work with young girls from as young as 10 right up to
10.
Women as old as whatever, if they want to come in, do our drop-ins or whatever we do, they're very welcome. When I had originally started working with the young girls, we thought maybe around 13 years old, but we get a lot of referrals in from mental health services like CAMS and social services and education authority. And we were getting referrals in younger, than 13. So we thought, right, okay, we'll take it down to 10. And even at that, sometimes we get referrals younger and we're like, no, we'll have to have a cut off, somewhere. There's so many young girls obviously having mental health issues. And we hate to turn people away and to say no, but we're only a small charity and there is only so much that we can do. So we had to cut it off age at age 10. So.
Okay, and that's sort of the bridge between primary and secondary. So
yeah, they're sort of getting ready then to go into secondary school. I always remember my daughter was always full of confidence. She still is. And I just thought, right, okay, once she gets into secondary school, is that confidence going to get knocked out of her? Because I saw so many other young girls, once they get into the big school, it's like they don't know who they are. So we wanted to be able to prepare them to go into big school, and to instill that confidence and self-esteem in them.
So tell me about the social enterprise then. So we've got the sweatshirts and stuff here. How does it work? What are you doing?
Yep. So we had come up with the idea of this, obviously, again, to generate the money for the charity. And we come up with the logo, You Glow Girl, because we just thought it was a great conversation starter. Everybody says, You Glow Girl, it's about empowering women. We have women wearing the jumpers and somebody will stop them in the street and go, oh, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So we got some funding from the National Lottery and from the Northern Ireland Housing Executive, and we bought 2 embroidery machines and a printing machine as well for vinyl. So we started this in 2019, where we were just making the products and selling them online at that point before lockdown and stuff like that. We were going to women's conferences and going out and selling them there, but now everything's just online, so it's slowed down a bit. But the idea is to bring some of the women in and to train them up as well to be able to use the machines and to volunteer with us and to help us to sell them and make them.
Okay, and that's part of the confidence building because you're giving them work skills and whatever.
Yes.
And who designs them or what?
Well, we've just sort of come up with it ourselves. Over the last wee while, we've got some. Computer stuff, there's software stuff that we can use to be able to design the stuff, and we just play about with things and create stuff ourselves. Like I say, we wing it. I think that's just my motto. I just wing it and
see something,
see if it works, see if it doesn't work. But we've had some great people along the way that have helped us and really supported us. So that's definitely helped to get things off the ground.
Okay, and so. What does the future look like then for Glow?
So recently we just started a pilot program last year called Glow Academy, and Glow Academy takes women and girls as 16 to 25. We have a pilot program, and they were doing OCN level 2 in photography with Belfast Exposed. They're doing their OCN level 2 in social enterprise with supporting communities. Work West have been doing some work with the girls as well to help them to think about social enterprise, to help them to think about, do they want to set up a social enterprise or a business, and then to train them using our machines as well. We've also got some funding to bring 2 of them on as apprentices as well, so they'll learn more, and we'll have them on for 6 months, and that'll help them, but it'll also help You Glow Girl as well to be able to generate, make more merchandise really, and bring in more contracts.
And so what would you say has been your vision, like if you were able to just wave a magic wand now and say, right, in 5 years' time, this is what we would have?
Well, we'd like to have our own bigger workshop because we're only in a small room in City Life Centre at the minute, so we need a bigger workshop, bigger machines to make more products. We want to get bigger contracts with organisations and companies to be able to make their branded merchandise. For the Glow Academy as well, we want it to be bigger, where we're adding in more courses for the girls and the women to be able to train in different types of skills to be able to set up their own social enterprise.
What other kind of things? Have you anything in mind? Or?
Well, we've talked to some of the younger girls that have come through the programme, and some of them want to go into fashion design, so we're going to get somebody in that's going to train them up in how to use sewing machines properly and how to take old clothes and recycle clothes and stuff like that. So they're looking to get into the fashion industry. Some of them are looking to get into more photography skills. We're trying to train them up in social media and digital marketing as well, with some funding that we've got. We're working with Profile Tree. So we want to connect with other organisations, and other organisations to come in and help us to train women up. Again, these women have maybe not realised that there's those opportunities out there, and we want to give them these great and exciting opportunities to get involved and set up their own social enterprise. Like I say, I'd never imagined that I would set up a charity and set up a social enterprise. And, the options are there.
And that's the thing, even just the women see that you did it, and I go, oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Because if you can't see it, you can't be it. So they see it, and then they kind of see, well, that's a pathway for me as well.
Yeah.
So what, in terms of making connections, can people approach you because they want you to do embroidery? Can people, if you want people to kind of get in touch with you as a result of having a chat today, what kind of people?
Yeah, so we are working with a couple of organisations at the minute, and we embroider their merchandise, or we use vinyl, and we're distributing them out for them, or we can make them in bulk. And
So there's people who have their own brands?
Yes, okay. If they have their own brands, or if it's an organisation that wants us to do their company logo onto, anything that you can think of, that you need your company logo onto. Bags, hats, mugs, flasks, everything like that. So we do a lot more. So we've got our website, glowni.com, and we've got our shop on there. But just to send us an email, send us a contact, and we are a small organisation at the minute as far as the social enterprise, but our dream is to be bigger.
Only for now. Only for now.
That's it. Yes.
So you're definitely a star on the rise there. And then in terms of courses, you can offer courses at businesses as well, or community centres?
So again, we're looking to expand out. At the minute, we only work with usually North and West Belfast, women and young girls from that. That's what our funding covers. But we get people from all over Northern Ireland contacting us and wanting to come on and to our programmes, our personal development programmes. So we have delivered out in the Antrim, over East Belfast, Portadown, different places like that. So we're looking to expand our services out in the other organisations, and it's all about life coaching tools and techniques, so we can work with their staff, with their volunteers, and training them up in mentoring and life coaching.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just community organisations,
no.
You can, any business, anybody.
With staff, volunteers, support workers, and people like that, And
then, so of course, I've seen you have your book, which is the 10-step guide. Talk to me about this then.
Yeah, so we wrote the book a couple of years ago because we had so many great stories of women that have come through the programme, and we wanted to put some stories together to show their journey. And then we thought we had other people wanting to come on the programme, but they were outside the criteria. So we thought, right, well, we'll break our programme down into 10 steps, put it into a book, and put 10 women's stories into the book as well. So you can get the book on the website as well, and work on the programme yourself in your own time. We've also got the programme put online, so you can go on and pay for it on our website as well and work through it. And again, it's all life coaching tools, so women can go on to it any time that they want.
Okay. And what about, can you tell us any stories? I mean, not to spoil the book, but any of the stories of people that you have maybe working with you at the minute, or just the impact that you've had in the community? Yeah,
so Paula's story isn't in the book anyway. Paula's story is great. She came through our programme a few years back. She suffered with bad mental health and physical conditions as well. So she was in her bed for a good few years, could hardly get out of bed, married with 3 young kids. So that obviously had an effect on the kids and that as well. Her mental health was just really bad, but her husband, fantastic guy, you know, he was come over to the centre. There's a coffee shop in the centre, so he used to come over with the kids. He got to know what was happening in the centre, heard about Glow, so encouraged Paula to take part in her programme. She came through it and her life absolutely changed. She was just a completely different person. Her mental health, you know, just all changed, more positive mental health. And then she started volunteering with Glow, helping us just admin, funding applications. And then we eventually got some funding to be able to pay her to come on as a fundraiser with Glow. And now she's helping to develop all of You Glow Girl. And she's their coordinator now for You Glow Girl. And she's working with the girls coming through the Glow Academy as well. So she comes up with all the lovely colours and researches everything. And, you know, she's working with us on a part-time basis now.
So she's gone from being basically in her house all the time, in her bed.
Yeah.
Not even just in her house, in her bed.
Yeah.
What do you think it was made her actually get out of bed and cross your door?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, it was small steps for her, you know, because her husband was so encouraging. Because we had the coffee shop there, she was able to come over and sit in the coffee shop and feel the atmosphere of the centre, you know. She felt comfortable. She just started talking with us briefly, you know, because we were about the centre, she got to know us. And it was just mindset, you know, it was a choice. She started to realise that I could maybe do this. This is something, you know, that I could do. Not everybody's in a position where they can actually go and do it. They might need other type of help. But she was just at that point where she was like, no, I need to do something. Otherwise, things are just going to get really worse.
But you should create an environment where she was able to kind of dip her toe in the water and see who you were and what you were doing.
Yeah.
And then go away and then come back.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then talk to you and then come on the course.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to be said for what you've created there in terms of a sort of a gentle slope for her to be able to...
Yeah, and that's the great thing about City Life Centre where we are based. You know, it is a community centre. There's a coffee shop there. There's other things happening and there's a great buzz about the place. You know, so we do thrive on creating a safe environment for these women to come into. You know, it's very informal. You know, and we just get them, come out, give them a cup of tea and a scone. Every woman loves a cup of tea and a scone. You know, you sort the world's problems out over a cup of tea. So that's what we do. It's all around sitting having a chat at a cup of tea, and we're just very open and honest with them from the start. And I think whenever they hear each other sharing their other stories as well, they realise I'm not on my own. There's other people out there that are suffering. So they want to be in a better place where they can help themselves and help other people as well. And that's where Paula got to. She wanted to help other women because she understood what it was like, you know, to be so low with her mental health.
Yeah, I mean, you think of the power of that, and even people who knew her in the community to know, because if she was in her bed all the time, people knew she wasn't around.
Yeah.
And then now they see her glowing.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And I think it's just what's really struck me is there's so much information, as I've said earlier, there's so much information online and, you know, in books and stuff. But sometimes you do need somebody to present it to you in a way that is, this is for me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, sometimes it's maybe just the language or the way it's presented. You just think, oh, well, that's for somebody else.
Yeah.
But especially within the community, you kind of to be able to think, well, okay, I can just walk through this door.
Yeah.
It's amazing
and
what you're doing.
That's the thing about face-to-face, you know, and over lockdown, obviously, you know, it was awful. You know, we brought all our programmes on to Zoom. You know, we continued to do that. But, you know, a lot of the women and the girls struggled with doing it on Zoom. You know, it's just not the same sitting face-to-face over a cup of tea and having that chat. So we still continue to do it. And a lot of people still got stuff from it. But that's just the magic, isn't it? You know, of just sitting face-to-face, you know, in a group. Oh, definitely,
You don't get it on Zoom.
No.
I know it's very, very difficult.
Yeah,
but listen, hats off, everything. It's amazing. Beanie, hats off
Yeah.
to you guys. You're doing an
Thank you.
amazing job. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be... How long are you going now with this?
Well, the charity has been going from 2011. The social enterprise, we set it up by 2019.
Okay, so that's really... I think that's definitely going to skyrocket. Well,
Yeah.
I suppose if anybody wants to get in touch, they can do it through Amanda or directly
Yeah.
to you guys. What's your Instagram?
Glow NI, and Facebook is Glow NI as well. Website Glow NI.
Okay. Glow NI.
Yes,
Thank you
if
so
you
much.
put Glow NI in, we usually come up the top of the Google ranking, which is great.
Yes, perfect. Well done.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much, Cara. All
Thank
the
you.
best.
Yes, thank you.
Next week, I'll be chatting to Nigel Hampton from Incredible. Thanks again to Cara Clarke from Glow NI and also to ID Verde, our sponsor. If you're a social enterprise and you'd like to find out more about opportunities to work with ID Verde, please contact Amanda at Social Enterprise NI.